Have you ever found yourself deep in the woods at night, far from the comfort of city lights, where the darkness feels almost alive and every shadow seems to move? In those moments, the only sounds are the restless wind weaving through the trees and the sudden, sharp snap of a twig underfoot echoing in the stillness. That's when you might hear it. A long, mournful howl, rising and falling, not quite wolf, not quite dog, but something eerily in between. It's a sound that crawls up your spine, sending chills through your body, whispering an ancient story, the legend of the werewolf, a tale as old as fear itself. The idea is both simple and terrifying. A regular person, cursed or bitten, doomed to become a beast when the full moon rises high in the sky. Bones snap and reshape, fur sprouts from once human skin, and the transformation is as painful as it is unstoppable. In those moments, humanity is stripped away, replaced by a primal hunger and wild instincts that can't be controlled. The werewolf legend is a transformation story as old as civilization itself, a chilling reminder that monsters might lurk beneath the surface of anyone we know, even ourselves. This isn't just a story from movies or books. The werewolf has haunted our nightmares for thousands of years, appearing in the folklore of countless cultures and generations. From ancient Greece to the misty forests of Scandinavia, from the jungles of South America to the haunted countryside of France, people have gathered around fires and whispered tales of men and women who become wolves under the moon's gaze. Each culture adds its own unique fears, warnings, and twists, but the core remains the same, the terror of losing control, of transformation into something monstrous. So let's dig into this chilling piece of folklore, where it came from, why it endures, and why, even today, the howl of the werewolf still makes us check our locks and glance nervously at the moon. Exploring the dark corners of human fear isn't easy, but someone's got to do it. So, gather your courage. Let's get started and see what secrets the night holds.
Things you only talk about at the back of the cave.
The werewolf isn't just a European legend. It has cousins worldwide. In Norse mythology, the Ofednar were elite warriors who wore wolf pelts, channeling the wolf spirit and blurring the line between man and beast. Among the Navajo, the Yi-Nald-Lushi, or Skinwalker, is a witch who can transform into animals, often wolves or coyotes, using this power for evil. In South America, the Lobazan is the cursed seventh son, transforming into a monstrous beast on certain nights, feared for preying on the vulnerable. The Philippines has the Aswang, a shape-shifting monster that can become a huge black dog preying on the unsuspecting at night. These stories show that the fear of humans turning into predatory beasts is universal. Whether warrior, witch, or cursed child, the werewolf myth adapts to local fears and beliefs. Across continents, the legend endures, always warning of the beast within. The werewolf is truly a global monster. To trace the Western werewolf legend, we travel back to ancient Greece and the tale of King Lycaon. Lycaon, doubting the gods, served Zeus a meal of human flesh. Outraged, Zeus transformed Lycaon into a wolf, a punishment to match his crime. This myth gave us the word lycanthropy and set the template: a human, a terrible act, a divine curse, and a monstrous transformation. It was a warning about hubris and crossing forbidden lines. The story spread through Rome and across Europe, merging with local folklore. Over time, the curse of the gods became a pact with the devil, a bite, or a magical wolfskin. The legend evolved, but the core remained, the danger of becoming the beast you fear. From Lycaon's punishment, 1,000 werewolf tales grew. The myth's roots are ancient, but its branches reach everywhere. The werewolf's origin is a story of crime, curse, and transformation. Fast forward to 16th century Germany, where the werewolf legend became terrifyingly real. In the small town of Bedburg, nestled among dense forests and rolling fields, a chilling fear began to take hold. Whispers of something unnatural prowling the night spread like wildfire, and the villagers grew wary of the darkness that crept ever closer to their homes. In Bedburg, livestock and people vanished without a trace. Their remains later found horribly mutilated in the shadowy woods. The grisly discoveries left the community in shock, fueling rumors of a bloodthirsty beast stalking the countryside. The terrified townsfolk blamed a monstrous wolf for the carnage, until one fateful night, when hunters cornered the creature. To their horror, they claimed it transformed before their eyes into Peter Stump, a local farmer known to many in the village. Dragged before the authorities, Stump was subjected to brutal torture. Under unbearable pain, he confessed to making a pact with the devil and to wearing a magical wolfskin belt, which he claimed allowed him to become a wolf at will and roam the night as a predator. He admitted to a string of horrific crimes, including murder, cannibalism, and unspeakable acts that shocked even the most hardened villagers. His confessions painted a picture of a man possessed by evil forces. Whether Stump was truly a killer, a madman, or simply a victim of mass hysteria, his confession was accepted as undeniable proof that werewolves walked among them. The fear and suspicion in Bedburg reached a fever pitch. His execution was nothing short of brutal. His flesh was torn with red-hot pincers, his limbs were broken on the wheel, and finally, he was beheaded and burned for all to see. Even his family was not spared. They were executed as supposed accomplices, and Stump's severed head was displayed on a pike at the town gates as a grim warning to others. The shocking story spread rapidly across Europe, carried by broadsheets and word of mouth, cementing the werewolf as a real-world threat in the minds of many. The Bedburg case blurred the line between myth and reality, fueling centuries of fear and superstition. Suddenly, the werewolf was not just a tale told by the fire, but a living nightmare. The werewolf was no longer just a legend. It was a monster next door, lurking in the shadows, waiting for nightfall. For the people of Bedburg, the terror was all too real, and the legend of the werewolf would haunt Europe for generations to come. In the heart of 18th century France, a chilling terror gripped the province of Gévaudan. The so-called Beast of Gévaudan stalked the rolling hills and dense forests, attacking and killing over 100 people in a wave of violence that left the countryside paralyzed with fear. Witnesses described the creature as a massive, wolf-like animal, far larger and more ferocious than any ordinary wolf. It seemed to prefer preying on women and children, often attacking with a brutality that shocked even the most hardened villagers. The relentless attacks sparked widespread panic and a national crisis. King Louis XV, alarmed by the mounting death toll, dispatched his best hunters and soldiers to the region. Despite their efforts, the beast proved elusive, evading every trap and ambush set for it. Whispers spread through the villages. Some believed the beast was a loup-garou, a werewolf from ancient folklore, too cunning and fearless to be a mere animal. Others thought it might be a supernatural force sent to punish the region. Over the years, several large wolves were hunted down and killed, but the attacks continued, fueling rumors and dread. It wasn't until a local hunter, Jean Chastel, confronted and shot a particularly large and unusual wolf that hope returned to the people. After Chastel's fateful shot, the killings abruptly stopped. When the animal's stomach was examined, it was found to contain human remains, confirming villagers' worst fears and suspicions. Yet, the mystery lingered. Was the beast truly just a giant wolf? Or could it have been an exotic animal escaped from a menagerie? Or even something supernatural that defied explanation? Some claimed that Chastel had used a blessed silver bullet to slay the monster, a detail that only added to the growing legend and the sense of the extraordinary. The story of the Beast of Gévaudan became a sensation, spreading far beyond France and fueling werewolf fears and wild speculation across Europe. Over time, the line between fact and folklore blurred, and the legend only grew, passed down through generations as both a warning and a mystery. The French countryside had faced a real monster, or so it seemed to those who lived through the terror, their stories echoing through the ages. To this day, the werewolf myth remains alive and well, a haunting reminder of the beast that once stalked the fields of Gévaudan. As science replaced superstition, people searched for rational explanations for werewolf legends. Clinical lycanthropy is a rare psychiatric condition where someone believes they've turned into an animal, often a wolf. Hypertrichosis, or werewolf syndrome, causes excessive hair growth, making those affected look beastly to superstitious villagers. Rabies outbreaks, with their aggression and transmission by bite, may have inspired tales of the curse spreading. Misidentification played a role too. A wolf in the shadows can seem monstrous to frightened eyes. Fear and imagination filled in the blanks, turning ordinary wolves or sick people into supernatural threats. The werewolf legend is a mix of rare conditions, misunderstood diseases, and primal fear. Science chipped away at the myth, but never fully explained it. The legend endures because it taps into something deeper than logic. Sometimes fear is explanation enough. When you picture a werewolf, you probably think of the full moon and silver bullets. Surprisingly, these are modern additions to the legend. In old folklore, transformation could happen at will, on certain nights, or with magical items. No full moon required. The 1941 film, The Wolfman, popularized the full moon as the trigger, cementing it in pop culture. Silver's association with purity is ancient, but the idea of silver bullets killing werewolves is mostly a 20th century invention. The Beast of Gavaudan legend added the silver bullet detail later, thanks to storytellers. These elements show how legends evolve, shaped by movies and imagination. The werewolf myth is always changing, never set in stone. Even today, werewolf sightings persist, keeping the legend alive. The Beast of Bray Road in Wisconsin made headlines in the 1980s and 90s. Witnesses described a bipedal, wolf-like creature haunting rural roads. Journalist Linda Godfrey investigated, turning local stories into national fascination. In Michigan, the Dogman legend began as a radio hoax, but listeners soon shared their own chilling encounters with a wolf-headed beast. These modern tales usually happen on lonely roads late at night where the wild still feels close. Are these real creatures, hoaxes, or just our minds playing tricks in the dark? Whatever the truth, the werewolf remains a living legend, lurking at the edges of our world. The old fears never fully fade. The beast is still out there, in stories, in shadows, and in our imagination. Why does the werewolf still fascinate us? It's the ultimate story of duality, a monster and a man both trapped in one body. The werewolf reflects our fear of losing control, of the wildness inside us breaking free. It's a tale of transformation, of hidden selves revealed under the full moon. The legend also speaks to our fear of the unknown in others. Could anyone be hiding a monstrous side? Unlike vampires or zombies, the werewolf is often a victim, cursed and tormented by what they become. We fear the beast, but we pity the human within. The werewolf is a dark mirror, reflecting our own struggles and fears. That's why the legend endures, reshaped by every generation. So next time you see a bright full moon, listen closely. You might hear that ancient howl reminding us of the beast within. The story isn't over, the howl still echoes.